President Biden was set to depart Washington for a 4-day trip to Belgium and Poland Wednesday morning, where he will huddle with U.S. allies and discuss additional responses to Russia's catastrophic month-long invasion of Ukraine. The journey, Biden's first international trip since this past fall, will test the president's ability to navigate Europe's worst crisis since World War II, one which his national security advisor says has no quick end in sight. This war will not end easily or rapidly, Jake Sullivan told reporters while previewing the trip Tuesday. For the past few months, the West has been united. The president is traveling to Europe to make sure we stay united. Sullivan added that while abroad, Biden would coordinate with allies on military assistance for Ukraine and new sanctions on Russia. The Wall Street Journal reported overnight that the U.S. was preparing penalties on hundreds of members of Russia's parliament, the Duma, that could be announced as soon as Thursday. The advisor also said that Biden would discuss long-term efforts to boost defenses in Eastern Europe, where several nations that were part of the Soviet sphere of influence during the Cold War fear renewed Russian aggression. The president will be traveling to Europe without his top spokesperson, as White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki was forced to forego the trip at the last minute after contracting COVID-19. The first stop on Biden's itinerary is Brussels, where he'll take part in back-to-back meetings Thursday, including an extraordinary NATO summit. He'll also take part in meetings with the leaders of the European Union and the G7 nations, which include the world's richest democracies. On Friday, the president will travel to Warsaw to discuss the strain on Poland's humanitarian resources due to the ongoing Ukrainian refugee crisis. According to the United Nations, more than 3.6 million people have been displaced by the month-long war, with more than 2.1 million of them seeking shelter in Poland. Biden is set to meet with Polish President Andrzej Duda on Saturday before capping off the trip with a set-piece speech about the conflict and the West's support for Ukraine and democracy. The president's trip comes off the back of Vice President Kamala Harris' visit to Warsaw earlier this month, during which Duda called on the U.S. to expedite the visa process for Ukrainians looking to temporarily settle in the United States. With Post Wires.